Hi everybody, this is the Planet Earth here. I have come to the final conclusion that anxiety is not the worst disease out there, because anxiety, it's just not the worst mental or medical disease out there. I have come to the conclusion that anxiety, while being bad, it's not as bad as having butterfly skin. It's not as bad as having heart disease. It's not as bad as having cancer. It's not as bad as having AIDS. It's not as bad as having I don't know how to say the technical term. Mono. It's not as bad as having Ebola. It's not as bad as getting swine flu. It's not as bad as getting the bubonic plague. It's not as bad as having flesh-eating maggots that I saw on LiveLeak. This guy had his head. It's on LiveLeak right now. He's got flesh-eating maggots on his head, and you can see his brain. But you know, I've just come to realize that anxiety is bad because it always makes us feel like we're going to die. But in between attacks, we're still living normally, somewhat. We're living with depression, we're living with anxiety, and it's hard to come. It is hard because it's a mental medical disorder. It's hard because it's a mental medical disorder. I don't know exactly how to say it, but it is a disease that we have to deal with every day for the rest of our lives, no matter what. But at the same time, it could be way worse. I complain about living in an environment where I have a lot of anxiety. I don't have that right to complain. There's not many people that can say, hey, I live near the ocean in Los Angeles. There's not many people who can say that. There's not many people who can say, hey, yeah, okay, I may have anxiety disorder, I may have panic attacks, but look where I live. I live in the United States of America. While this country is a violent country, it is still safer than, I would say, at least 80 to 90% of the other countries in the world. We still have some of the best health care in the world. We still do. We have some of the best hospitals in the world. We have some of the smartest people in the world. Yes, panic attacks are bad, but it could be so much worse. And it took me a while to realize that. Yes, I'm still taking Ativan. Yeah, I'm getting a prescription for it. But we could have it way much worse. We could have it fucking 100 times worse. But we have it made compared to other people. We have it made, guys. Other than the panic attack and generalized anxiety, which can be helped by medication, we are even lucky that we have anxiety meds to help. We're lucky. And technology is advancing pretty quickly, so I'm sure in the next 10 years, there'll be even a better cure or a reliever for anxiety disorders across the world. Give it 10 years, guys. Look what we have now. I'm recording through a small cellular device that can record a fucking 4K quality video already, and we don't even have all 4K TVs yet. Give it about 5-10 years. This video will be very old if it's still on YouTube. And just give it 5-10 years, and we'll have 8K cellular devices 8K resolution, very skinny devices. I saw an OLED TV at Best Buy, and it was so thin, it felt like it was a piece of glass. Just give it about 10 years. Give it 10 years, guys. All the TVs will be like that. The future is nigh. They'll use very, very, very little electricity, etc., etc., etc. It'll be crazy. Just give it a little bit of time. But eventually, we'll have our cure, or something that will help us tremendously without side effects. Give it some time, guys. We're in that kind of technological age where they're starting to find answers for cancer, which is really good. They're actually starting to find answers for cancer and other diseases. Maybe in the next 10 years there'll be a cure for AIDS, or suppress the symptoms permanently, at least the symptoms, and it not advancing and killing you. But guys, panic attacks, yes, panic attacks are terrible. You get the shortness of breath, you get the hyperventilation, you get all those diseases, all those symptoms because of it. But in reality, in actual reality, we have it made. Yes, depression is bad. Yes, anxiety is bad. Yes, schizophrenia is bad. Yes, autism is bad. Yes, all these other disorders that we have come to realize are bad. But when you compare them to the rest of the diseases out there, we don't actually have it that bad. When you actually think about it, when you get down to the nit and gritty of it, we don't have it that bad. If you have a home, an apartment, be happy for what you have and not what you don't have. Because we only have one life. Only one life. That's all we got. We ain't got no other lives. We can't die and then come back and then die again and then come back again and die again and come back. It's one life. That's all we have. We only have one fucking life. One. And if you're healthy, take advantage of it. If you're having panic attacks, get the meds and then go live life. I have to come to a point where, it took me so many years to realize it, but anxiety's bad, but it's not the worst thing in the world. I mean, it's bad, but it could be so much way worse. You could live in a third world country. You could be having malnutrition. You could be having diseases off the yin yang. You get bit by a mosquito and get the West Nile virus. Live life like there's no tomorrow. Like, just live life. Be positive, somewhat, if you have to be, or try to be positive. That's the best thing, is to try to be a positive person. It's so hard for me to be positive. I'm usually pessimistic, but I gotta be optimistic. Yeah, I probably will never work to be living like this. Like houses on the edge of the cliff here. I don't like that. I'll never like that, actually. I'm always worried that this thing's gonna go down into the it's gonna crash one day when there's a tsunami. That's why I won't live up here. But I probably won't live in LA. And if I do, it'll be like in the valleys or something. But it's really expensive to live here. Gas is going high again, and it's just really expensive to live here. Prime rib real estate. That's what they call it. Prime rib real estate. that looks kind of weird. That white line in the ocean. That does look a little weird. When I actually think about it, it does look a little weird. Why are there white lines in the ocean like that? And it's just that one. Huh. Maybe we're gonna have an earthquake today. I don't know. But guys, leave your comment. Leave a comment on this video. Tell me what you feel about anxiety. Tell me what you suffer through. Tell me if you're suffering from anything other than anxiety. Not just anxiety. Tell me what you are suffering with. Tell me how you feel, guys. I want to know. Please. Thank you guys for watching. This has been the Planet Earth here.